Relax and let the universe manifest for you. These words carry a power beyond what the mind can easily grasp. We live in a world that urges us to hustle, to strive, to force our desires into existence through effort and struggle. Yet the truth that I bring to you today is the opposite of this. The secret lies not in effort, but in relaxation. Not in struggle, but in surrender. Not in chasing your dreams, but in resting in the feeling that your dreams are already fulfilled. You see, the universe is not an external force to be begged or bargained with. It is not a distant place where we send our requests in the form of prayers or wishes, hoping for a miracle. The universe is within you. It is your consciousness, your imagination, your very own state of being. What you think, feel, and believe is what the universe reflects back to you. So when you relax and allow, you are aligning yourself with that infinite creative power that brings all things into form. Most people do not understand this. They imagine that they must do something, achieve something, or acquire something before they can be happy, free, or fulfilled. But in reality, the fulfillment is the cause, and the conditions are the effect. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you plant a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And the universe, which operates in perfect law, responds to that feeling and brings it into your experience. Relaxation, therefore, is not merely a physical state. It is a mental state, a state of consciousness. It is the art of ceasing the battle within. It is the moment when your mind stops pushing, stops doubting, and simply trusts. It is surrendering to the knowledge that your desire is already yours, and it must manifest because it exists now in the invisible realm. You might ask, how can one relax when the world demands so much from us? How can we be still in a restless sea of uncertainty, challenge, and hardship? The answer lies in understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state. To change the world around you, you must change yourself first. You must first relax your thoughts, your feelings, your expectations. You must come to a place of quiet confidence where you no longer resist what is or grasp desperately for what is not. Imagine a garden. The seeds you plant do not grow because you watch them anxiously every moment. They grow because the conditions are right. The sun shines, the rain falls, and the earth is fertile. You do not interfere with the natural process, for to do so would be to harm the growth. Your imagination is the seed, your belief is the sun, and your relaxation is the fertile soil. When these come together, your desire grows and blossoms into reality. Relaxation means you enter a state of faith, not in some external deity, but in yourself. You are the living power, the creator of your reality. When you cease to struggle, you give your subconscious mind the freedom to work on your behalf. It is in the stillness that creation begins. You are the artist, the sculptor, the magician, but the clay takes shape only when you let go and allow the invisible hands of the universe to mold it. Think deeply about what it means to let the universe manifest for you. It means you have done your work within. You're imagining, you're assuming, you're feeling, and now you allow the infinite intelligence within you to bring it forth. You do not attempt to control the how or when. You do not argue with the process or try to speed it up. You relax into the certainty that your desire is already realized. This relaxation is a spiritual act. It is an act of profound trust. It is a surrender not to weakness, but to power. When you release the need to control, you open the door to miracles. The universe loves to respond to faith, to expectancy, to confidence. When you are relaxed, your heart is open, your mind is clear, and your spirit is ready. You become a magnet to all that you desire because you are in harmony with the creative flow. Neville Goddard taught us that feeling is the secret. To relax means to feel as if your desire is already fulfilled. Feel it now with all your senses. See the scene, hear the sounds, touch the textures, smell the scents, and taste the joy. Live in that state until it becomes your natural feeling. This feeling then impresses itself deeply upon your subconscious mind, which is the fertile ground of manifestation. The subconscious mind is always at work, but it is blind to time and logic. It accepts whatever you impress upon it with feeling and imagination as real. When you relax and embody the fulfilled feeling, you send a powerful command to your subconscious, which then sets the wheels of manifestation in motion. Doubt and worry, on the other hand, disturb this process. They create resistance, tension, and delay. Relaxation removes this resistance. Consider the analogy of sleep. When you sleep, you are relaxed completely, and yet your body is healing, your mind is organizing, your dreams are unfolding. You do not have to force sleep or try to manipulate it. It comes naturally when you allow it. Manifestation works the same way. When you relax into the assumption of your wish fulfilled, the creative process goes to work on your behalf, often unseen and unheard, until the perfect moment of revelation. You may wonder, how do I practice this relaxation? How do I let go of my anxieties and fears? The answer is simple, but requires discipline. Begin by cultivating a mental attitude of restfulness. When a desire arises, do not immediately jump into action or worry. Instead, close your eyes and imagine the fulfillment of your desire in vivid detail. Feel the satisfaction, the happiness, the peace. Repeat this often until it becomes your dominant feeling. Then, release your desire to the universe. Tell yourself, I relax now. I know it is done. Repeat these words like a mantra. Let them soothe your mind and heart. Know that by doing this, you are aligning with the invisible laws of creation. The universe loves a relaxed mind because it is open and receptive. Stress and struggle create blockages that prevent manifestation. It is important to remember that relaxing does not mean passivity. You do not stop living or cease acting in your daily life. You act with confidence and joy, knowing that the results are assured. Your actions come from a place of power, not desperation. You act as if your desire is already yours, because in the unseen realm, it already is. Relaxation also means forgiving and releasing any resistance you hold. Resistance comes from doubt, disbelief, and fear. These feelings tighten your mind and close the door to manifestation. When you forgive and release, you open your heart and mind to receive. You relax into the reality that your desires are not outside of you, but a natural expression of your being. Many people fall into the trap of impatience. They want immediate results, and when these do not appear, they grow anxious and doubtful. This is the opposite of relaxation. Remember, the universe operates according to its own perfect timing, which is always right. Your task is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled without interruption. Stay in that state like a calm sea reflecting the sky. You are not separate from your desire. Your desire is an extension of your consciousness. To relax means to merge with that desire, to live from its fulfilled state. This is a profound mystical truth. Neville revealed again and again, your outer world must conform to your inner state. Change the inner state, and the outer state will follow naturally and effortlessly. Meditation is a powerful tool for cultivating this relaxation. In meditation, you quiet the mind, release tension, and enter a state of inner peace. In this peaceful state, you can impress your subconscious with the feeling of the wish fulfilled more powerfully. Make it a daily habit to spend time in silence, imagining your desire as already done, and letting the feeling wash over you. As you do this, you will notice subtle shifts in your life. Opportunities will appear, people will come to you, synchronicities will unfold. These are signs that the universe is responding to your relaxed faith. Do not try to control or analyze these signs. Simply receive them with gratitude and continue your mental assumption. Sometimes the manifestation may appear delayed, but know that delay is only an appearance. It is the shadow cast by your impatience or doubt. If you find yourself feeling restless, return to relaxation. Breathe deeply. Imagine the fulfilled desire again and repeat your affirmation. Relax into the assurance that all is well. Let me share a secret that Neville taught. Live in the end. What does this mean? It means live as if your desire is already fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Feel it now. Imagine the scene that would exist if your desire were already real. Enter into that scene fully. This is the magic of manifestation. You create your reality by living in the end now. and the universe must conform to this living assumption. Relaxing and letting the universe manifest for you is a sacred art. It requires patience, faith, and persistence. It requires that you become the master of your inner world, the commander of your imagination. When you master this, nothing can stop your manifestation. You become like a mighty river flowing effortlessly to the sea of your desires. In closing, remember this: the power to create your reality is within you right now. It is not somewhere out there, dependent on circumstances or people. It is your consciousness, your feeling, your assumption. Relaxation is the key that unlocks this power. When you relax, you open the door to miracles. So today, choose to relax. Choose to trust the creative power within you. Choose to live as if your desires are already fulfilled. Let go of struggle, anxiety, and doubt. Let the universe manifest for you in its perfect way and time. Your task is simply to feel, to imagine, and to relax. Everything else will fall into place. This is not just a teaching. It is a way of life. Practice it daily and watch how your world transforms. The universe is waiting for you to relax and let it work on your behalf. Be still, be certain, be joyful. Your manifestation is coming. When you relax into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are no longer bound by the limitations of the physical senses. You transcend time, space, and circumstance. You become the eternal dreamer, the infinite creator. The conditions that appear outside you are mere shadows of your inner state. Change the state within, and the shadows dissolve, revealing the reality you have imagined. Do not be fooled by appearances. The world you see is like a mirror reflecting your inner thoughts and feelings. If you feel anxious, the mirror will show chaos. If you feel fearful, the mirror will show obstacles. But if you feel peaceful, confident, and assured, the mirror will reflect harmony, opportunity, and ease. Your task is to choose what you see in the mirror by changing your inner state through relaxation and assumption. Relaxation is the antidote to resistance. Resistance is the effort to control and force things to happen. It is the tight grip of the mind that says, I must have it now or I cannot live without this. This grip causes tension and blocks the flow of creative energy. When you loosen your grip and relax, you allow the creative current to flow freely. This current carries your desire from the invisible realm into the visible. Imagine you are floating on a calm lake. The water is still, the sky is clear, and the sun warms your skin. You feel safe, relaxed, and at peace. This is the feeling you must cultivate within. When your mind is like a still lake, your subconscious mind receives the impression clearly and begins to weave the threads of manifestation. But when your mind is turbulent like a stormy sea, your subconscious cannot hold a clear picture, and manifestation becomes delayed. The creative process is like the tide that ebbs and flows with perfect rhythm. You do not fight the tide, you move with it. When you relax and align yourself with this rhythm, you become a channel for manifestation. Your desire flows toward you effortlessly, like the tide returning to shore. You do not need to chase it or drag it. It comes to you naturally when you relax and trust. Remember that your imagination is God within you. It is the creative power that forms worlds and realities. To relax is to rest in this divine power, to trust that it is working on your behalf, even when you cannot see the results. The unseen is always real, and the unseen realm is where creation begins. Your relaxation is your faith in this unseen realm. There is a subtle art to relaxation. It is not simply lying back physically, but resting your entire being in the assumption of the fulfilled desire. This means you think and feel from the end result, not from the problem or lack. You close your eyes and enter the scene of fulfillment. You live in that scene as though it is happening now. Your body may be in the present, but your consciousness is in the future already realized. As you do this repeatedly, your subconscious mind accepts this assumption as fact. It cannot distinguish imagination from reality when feelings are involved. This acceptance triggers the law of attraction and the law of assumption to work on your behalf. Doors open, people appear, ideas come, and circumstances align. The universe conspires with your relaxed faith to bring your desire to manifestation. Do not rush this process. Impatience breaks the spell of relaxation. When you feel impatience creeping in, Remind yourself to relax again. Breathe deeply. Return to the scene of fulfillment in your mind. Feel the emotions as if it were happening now. Affirm, I am relaxed. I am fulfilled. It is done. These words carry power because they align your mind with the creative law. You might wonder what happens if negative thoughts arise. They will come, as the mind is a wild beast. But you have the power to tame it through relaxation and return to your assumption. When you catch yourself doubting, gently bring your focus back to the feeling of fulfillment. Do not wrestle with the doubts, just release them like leaves floating down a stream. Your attention is the gardener of your inner world. Tend it wisely. There is a natural joy in relaxation. When you relax and trust, you free yourself from the chains of worry and fear. Your heart opens, your mind clears, and your spirit soars. This joy itself is a manifestation. It is the vibration that attracts your desires effortlessly. You do not need to chase happiness. Happiness is a byproduct of your relaxed faith. Consider the story of a man who wanted wealth. He tried hard, struggled, worried, and pushed against obstacles. Yet wealth eluded him. Then one day he learned to relax. He imagined himself wealthy, feeling the luxury, the ease, the gratitude. He trusted the universe to bring it to him. Without effort, without struggle, his situation changed. Opportunities appeared, money flowed, and he lived the life he imagined. This is no fairy tale. It is the power of relaxation and faith. You too can live such a life. The power is within you. The moment you stop resisting and relax into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you unlock the door to miracles. The universe waits only for your permission to manifest. Your relaxation is that permission. Sometimes manifestation happens quickly. Sometimes it takes time. Do not judge by time or appearance. Trust the process. Trust that what you desire is already yours, existing in the realm of imagination and feeling. The physical form must follow the invisible reality. Your body may live in a world of limitation, but your consciousness is limitless. When you relax, you open the door to this limitless consciousness. You step out of time and into eternity. You become the master of your destiny, the creator of your world. Do not be afraid to rest in this state of relaxation. It is not laziness. It is wisdom. It is not weakness. It is strength. It is the power to create without struggle. It is the power to allow the universe to do its perfect work. Practice this daily. Before you sleep, enter your scene of fulfillment. Feel the reality of your desire as if it is true now. Relax your body and mind. Let the feeling carry you into sleep. Your subconscious mind will work on this assumption during sleep, weaving the threads of manifestation. Upon waking, carry this feeling of relaxation and faith with you. Act in your day with confidence that all is well. Your desires are unfolding perfectly. You do not need to know how. You only need to believe. Remember, you are the dreamer of the dream. The dream is your creation. Relaxation is the key that opens the door to the dream becoming real. The universe loves to manifest for those who relax and trust. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Your life will transform. Your health will improve. Your relationships will flourish. Your abundance will multiply. All because you chose to relax and let the universe manifest for you. Keep this truth close to your heart. When challenges arise, return to relaxation. When doubts whisper, return to relaxation. When the world pressures you to strive, return to relaxation. You are a powerful creator. You have within you the seed of all creation. Relaxation nurtures this seed. It waters it with faith, sunlight with feeling, and soil with assumption. Your desire blooms into reality. So I invite you now, wherever you are, to take a deep breath and release all tension. Close your eyes if you will. Imagine your desire fulfilled. Feel the joy, the peace, the satisfaction. Let your whole being relax into this feeling. Trust the universe to do the rest. This is your birthright. This is your divine power. Relax and let the universe manifest for you. As you deepen this practice, you begin to notice subtle shifts, not only in your outer world but within yourself. Your mind grows quieter, your heart lighter, and your spirit more aligned. This inner harmony becomes the fertile ground from which all manifestations sprout effortlessly. The more you relax, the more you find yourself in a state of expectancy, a sweet anticipation that does not strain or clutch but gently welcomes what is already yours. The paradox of creation is that the harder you try to force results, the more elusive they become. But when you release effort and relax into the assumption that your desire is fulfilled, the universe moves swiftly to bring it forth. Imagine a gardener who waters the soil and trusts the seed will grow, rather than digging up the seed every day to check its progress. Your role is to imagine, feel, and then rest. This rest is not mere idleness. It is the sacred space where creation breathes and comes alive. Feelings are the language of your subconscious mind. When you relax and embody the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you speak directly to this creative mind. It listens and obeys without question, because feeling is the foundation of reality. Thought alone without feeling is powerless. But when thought is combined with feeling, it moves mountains. Therefore, cultivating a relaxed, confident feeling is your greatest act of creation. You might wonder how to maintain this relaxed state in a world that often demands stress and struggle. It begins with awareness. Notice when tension creeps into your body or worry clouds your mind. Gently redirect your focus to your imagined scene of fulfillment. See it clearly. Hear the sounds. Feel the textures. Taste the sweetness of success or love or health. Engage all your senses. Then let go. Return to the calm center within you, the stillness where the universe waits to move on your behalf. In moments of doubt, remind yourself that what you imagine with feeling is already real in the invisible realm. Time does not govern this realm. All things exist simultaneously in the state of your consciousness. You do not create tomorrow. You create now. The future you see is simply a reflection of the present state you hold within. So choose to hold a state of relaxation and fulfilled desire now, and the world must reflect this truth back to you. There is no need to struggle with the how of manifestation. That is the universe's role. Your job is to live from the end, to act, think, and feel as though your desire is already accomplished. This assumes the form of peace and rest. When you rest in this state, you align with the perfect timing and method of manifestation. You become a magnet for miracles, drawing to yourself the right people, opportunities, and resources without effort. The world may try to convince you that you must strive and hustle, yet the greatest creators throughout history knew the secret. Relaxation and faith in the unseen do more than struggle ever could. The most powerful action is the action of letting go, of releasing resistance and surrendering to the creative flow. Your imagination is the workshop of your soul. Every night as you drift into sleep, your subconscious mind accepts the impressions you place there. Use this sacred time to plant seeds of relaxation and fulfillment. Imagine yourself living your desire with complete assurance. Feel the peace that comes from knowing it is done. This simple act is the cornerstone of your manifestation practice. As your manifestations begin to appear, you will realize that the universe is always responding to your inner state. It is not a battle. It is a dance. When you lead with relaxation and assumption, the universe follows with joyful response. You no longer need to push or strain. Your manifestations come as natural as the sunrise. Each moment offers an opportunity to relax deeper into your creative power. When faced with challenges, instead of reacting with tension, breathe deeply and return to your scene of fulfillment. Know that what appears as a problem is only a temporary shadow, dissolving as your inner light shines stronger. Your body, mind, and spirit are designed to work in harmony with this process. Relaxation restores this harmony. Stress and worry create dissonance, blocking the flow of creative energy. Choose relaxation instead. It is the bridge between your desire and its manifestation. The universe is abundant, generous, and ready to serve you. When you relax, you open the door to receive its gifts. You do not need to earn or fight for abundance. You need only to assume it is yours and live from that truth. There is a profound peace that comes from knowing your desires are already fulfilled. This peace is your power source. It fuels your imagination, sharpens your focus, and attracts all that you need. In practicing relaxation, you honor the divine within you. You acknowledge that you are the creator of your reality, the artist of your life's canvas. The brush strokes you make are feelings and assumptions laid gently with calm assurance. So whenever life pulls you into anxiety or fear, remember this sacred truth. Relaxation is your creative power. It is the key that unlocks the doors of manifestation. It is the silent prayer that moves mountains. It is the sweet surrender that invites miracles. Live as if your desire is already fulfilled. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the satisfaction. Rest in this state with unwavering faith. The universe hears this song and answers with abundance, love, and perfect timing. This is the way of the great creators. This is the secret Neville Goddard revealed, that by relaxing and living in the end, you become the master of your destiny. Your world transforms, not by force, but by faith, not by struggle, but by surrender. Each day offers a fresh chance to practice this art, a chance to breathe deeply, close your eyes, and imagine your desire fulfilled, a chance to relax every muscle, every thought, every doubt, and rest in the assurance that all is done. By doing so, you align with the infinite intelligence that governs all things. You become a beacon of peace in a world of chaos. You become a living proof that the power to manifest lies within, waiting to be embraced. So, relax now. Let go of the need to control. Trust the unseen. Feel your desire fulfilled. Know that the universe is already moving to bring it into your experience. And watch as your world shifts, changes, and becomes the reflection of your inner reality. Your relaxation is the invitation. Your faith is the magnet. Your imagination is the blueprint. The universe is the builder. Together you create miracles. And as you relax and trust, you step into the greatest truth of all, that you are already one with the infinite, and everything you desire is already yours. As you embrace this truth, you begin to notice how effortless life can become when you release the need to control outcomes and simply allow the flow of creation to move through you. This does not mean passivity or giving up on your goals. Rather, it means a profound shift in your approach, from striving to allowing, from forcing to trusting. You realize that your imagination is the workshop where realities are forged, and your relaxed faith is the furnace that melts away resistance and shapes your dreams into form. Every moment you spend in relaxation, you are feeding your subconscious mind with the rich soil of possibility. This fertile ground is where your desires take root and grow. The subconscious mind accepts what you impress upon it with feeling and assumption, working tirelessly behind the scenes to translate your inner state into outer reality. When you relax, you open a channel through which infinite possibilities can flow, unhindered by the shackles of doubt and anxiety. Remember that time is a construct of the physical world, but in the realm of imagination and feeling, all moments exist simultaneously. When you relax into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you step beyond the constraints of time and space. You inhabit the end result now, experiencing it fully as if it were already yours. This is the state from which creation springs forth. It is the secret that Neville Goddard so often emphasized, the secret that your external world is the echo of your internal state. It is natural to question how this works when the external circumstances seem so contrary to your desires. Yet, these conditions are only the outer reflection of past beliefs and assumptions. By relaxing and persistently returning to the state of fulfillment, you rewrite these inner scripts. You reprogram the subconscious mind with new assumptions, new beliefs, new feelings that attract corresponding realities. The outer world cannot help but catch up with the inner world eventually. This process requires patience, but more importantly, faith that the unseen realm is as real, if not more real, than the physical world. You must trust that the creative power within you is at work, even when evidence of your desire seems delayed. This trust is cultivated through relaxation, through a gentle surrender to the wisdom of the universe. In the moments when doubt arises, do not battle it with force or resistance. Instead, acknowledge it, then return softly to your imagined scene of fulfillment. Feel the emotions of having what you want, the joy, the gratitude, the peace. Let these feelings wash over you like a calming wave, soothing away the restless thoughts. This practice strengthens your connection to the creative power within. You are not alone in this creative dance. The universe is your co-creator, always ready to bring forth your desires when you align your thoughts and feelings with them. Relaxation is the signal you send to the universe that you are ready and willing to receive. It is the space in which miracles manifest naturally and effortlessly. As you grow in this practice, you may notice subtle signs, synchronicities, unexpected opportunities, changes in circumstance that confirm your alignment with your desires. These signs are like ripples on the surface of a pond, evidence of the deeper currents at work beneath. They encourage you to continue relaxing, imagining and feeling, knowing that the manifestation is unfolding. The art of relaxation and assumption also teaches you to live in a state of gratitude, not for what you have now, but for what is already yours in the realm of imagination. Gratitude amplifies the vibration of your fulfilled desire and opens your heart to receive more. It is a powerful force that works in harmony with relaxation to accelerate manifestation. Your physical body benefits greatly from this practice as well. Relaxation reduces stress, restores balance, and promotes healing. When your body is calm and your mind is clear, your energy flows freely, enhancing your ability to create. You become a living vessel through which the universe expresses its infinite creativity. Know that you have within you the ability to create joy, abundance, health, and love, not by force but by faith and relaxation. This is the way of the Master Creator. This is the way Neville Goddard taught us to live. So each day, give yourself the gift of time to relax deeply into your desired state. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and imagine your wish fulfilled. See it, hear it, feel it as vividly as possible. Let the scene become alive within you, so alive that it stirs your emotions. Let this feeling settle like a warm blanket over your whole being. By doing this consistently, you become a magnet for the reality you desire. The universe aligns with your vibration, bringing the right circumstances and people into your life. You do not have to push or pull. You simply allow. This way of being transforms not only what you manifest, but who you become. You become a person of peace, of power, of faith. You embody the reality you wish to see, and in doing so, you set a powerful example for others. Imagine a life where you no longer worry or struggle, but rest in the certainty that everything you desire is on its way to you. This life is not a distant dream, but your immediate potential. It is available to you now through the simple, profound act of relaxation and assumption. Let this truth sink deep into your heart and mind. Let it guide your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. The more natural it becomes, the more natural it becomes, the more miraculous your life appears. You are not a victim of circumstance, but a master of creation. Your thoughts, your feelings, your relaxed faith shape your world moment by moment. Choose to relax, to trust, and to live in the end. Choose to let the universe manifest for you without resistance. Feel the power of these words as they settle in your soul. I relax and let the universe manifest for me. Repeat them often. Let them become your mantra, your prayer, your daily practice. As you do, watch your life unfold in ways more magnificent than you imagined. Doors open effortlessly. Opportunities appear like magic. Your desires flow toward you with grace and ease. This is your birthright. This is your power. This is your life. Relax now and let the universe manifest for you. Remember, the greatest power you possess is the power to relax, truly relax, and trust that the universe is already working on your behalf. When you stop struggling and start believing, when you stop pushing and start allowing, you open the door for miracles to enter your life effortlessly. Your imagination, charged with feeling and faith, becomes the seed from which your entire reality blossoms. So choose to live in that peaceful, fulfilled state now. Rest in the knowing that what you desire is already yours, and watch as the universe faithfully brings it into manifestation. Relax, surrender, and become the master creator of your destiny. Because when you do, the impossible becomes inevitable. Tonight, I want you to hear something not with your ears, but with your spirit. For the truth I am about to reveal is not new. It is ancient, eternal, and buried deep within your own consciousness. Before you sleep tonight, before you enter that sacred state between wakefulness and slumber, I will show you a key, a method, a divine act that when performed correctly, can manifest anything you desire in just 24 hours. But I urge you, do not treat this lightly. For if you do as I say, and you feel as I teach, your entire world can change overnight. You see, there is no power outside of you. All that you experience, whether joy or sorrow, abundance or lack, is born not from circumstance, but from consciousness. You are not a victim of life. You are its maker. And it is in the moments before you sleep, when the conscious mind is quiet and the subconscious is open, that your creative power is most potent. This is the time, the window of miracles, where your imagination writes the script your world must perform. So tonight, I ask you to become quiet. Lie down in your bed, and let the worries of the day fade away. Forget who you have been told you are. Forget what you have been told you can or cannot do. For none of that is truth. The only truth is what you accept as real in your imagination. Let the body relax. Let your breath slow, and begin to think not of what is, but of what you want to be. Do not wish. Do not hope. Do not beg. Simply assume. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is the key. This is the method I have used for years, and it has never failed me. Whatever your desire may be, a sum of money, a message from someone you love, a new job, a healing or even a miracle, it can all be yours if you dare to feel it as real. Do not wait for the world to show you evidence. That is not your concern. You are the cause. The world is merely the effect. Now here is what you must do. Tonight, before you fall asleep, you must choose one desire. Just one. Make it clear. Define it simply. Be specific, not vague, not general. Say to yourself, tonight, I shall feel what it feels like to have this already. Not tomorrow, not someday, now, this very moment. Then, in the silence of your bed, in the sacred stillness of night, close your eyes and begin to feel, not think, feel. Suppose you desire a certain amount of money. Do not think about how it will come. Do not worry about means. Instead, ask yourself, if I already had this money, how would I feel? Not what would I do, but how would I feel? Would you feel relief, security, joy, power? Then feel that. Saturate yourself with that feeling until it becomes your natural state. Pretend, as a child would, with no resistance, no logic. Feel it so vividly that your mind can no longer distinguish between imagination and reality. And when the feeling becomes dominant, when your whole being vibrates with the joy of the wish fulfilled, then fall asleep. Drift off into unconsciousness, holding that feeling as you would a beloved. For in that moment, you impress upon your subconscious mind a seed, and the subconscious, which never sleeps, begins immediately to bring about the outer manifestation. It is law. You do not need to repeat this for weeks. You do not need to struggle. You simply need to feel it fully, once, before sleep, and then let go. Release all thought. Let the subconscious do its perfect work. As you sleep, the seed grows, and within 24 hours, if your assumption was felt as real, you will see evidence. It may come in a whisper, in a phone call, in a number you glance at, or even in the fulfillment of the thing itself. But it will come. For imagination is the only reality, and what you feel is true will harden into fact. Some may ask, why before sleep? Because in that holy twilight, the door between the conscious and subconscious is open. The body is relaxed, the world is quiet, and your inner eye is free to roam. In this moment, your assumptions are not resisted by reason. Your emotions are not blocked by circumstance. You are, in truth, closest to your divine self. The impressions made in this state are not fleeting. They are carved into the eternal depths of being. Let me tell you now a story. A man once came to me and said, Neville, I am drowning in debt. I have no hope. I told him, tonight, before sleep, imagine that your debts are paid. Feel what it feels like to be free. He protested, but that is not real. I said, nothing is real except what you accept as real. The world is yourself pushed out. Reluctantly, he followed the method. He imagined signing a final check. He felt the joy of financial freedom, and he fell asleep in that state. The very next day, he received a call from a distant cousin, offering to buy a piece of land he had long forgotten about, at exactly the amount he needed. Was it a coincidence? No, it was law. His assumption had compelled reality to conform. You too have this power, but you must feel it. Thought alone is not enough. It is not what you think, it is what you feel. Thought is the seed, but feeling is the water. Without feeling, nothing grows. The universe does not respond to words. It responds to vibration. And your vibration is your emotional state. Therefore make the feeling of the wish fulfilled your nightly ritual. As natural as brushing your teeth, make it the final act before sleep. Let us suppose you desire love. Do not beg for someone to call you. Instead, imagine that they already have. Feel the warmth of their presence. Hear their voice in your mind. See their name on your screen. Smile, and let the feeling flood your heart. And then sleep. That's all. And you will be astonished by how quickly the outer world echoes back the inner assumption. People say, Neville, is it really that simple? Yes, but simple is not always easy. It requires discipline. It requires faith. And most of all, it requires surrender. You must let go of the outer world and dwell fully in the inner. You must believe more in the unseen than the seen. You must give up trying and simply assume. You must act as if you already are what you desire to be. Now hear me, for this is vital. Never go to sleep in a state you do not wish to perpetuate. If you sleep in fear, fear will grow. If you sleep in lack, lack will follow. But if you sleep in abundance, in joy, in peace, then these shall become your reality. The subconscious is never neutral. It takes whatever you give it and brings it to life. So tonight, give it your dream. Wrap it in the feeling of fulfillment and trust. The mind that imagines lack before sleep wakes to more lack. But the mind that imagines wealth, love, success, wakes to opportunities it cannot explain. You are not a slave to circumstance. You are the author of your life. And each night is a new page. Write it with feeling. Write it with faith. Do not ask how. That is not your part. The how belongs to the deeper wisdom of your being. The conscious mind is limited. It sees only part. But the subconscious sees all, knows all, and moves all. When you impress a desire upon it with feeling, it orchestrates everything necessary for its fulfillment. It bends time. It alters events. It inspires others. But you must let it work. So tonight, and every night hereafter, do this. Choose your desire. Enter the feeling of its fulfillment, and fall asleep in that state. Let this be your last thought. Let this be your final emotion. Let this be your sacred act. And do not wake to doubt. Wake with gratitude. Wake with expectancy. For what you have impressed in the silence will speak loudly in the world. You may say, Neville, I tried once and nothing happened. Then I say, you did not feel it fully. You may have wished, but you did not assume. You may have hoped, but you did not believe. Try again, but this time go deeper. Let the feeling consume you. Let it become your reality, and then rest. It is done. I have seen barren women conceive. I have seen hopeless addicts become healed. I have seen the poor become rich, and all through this method, not by action but by imagination, not by force, but by feeling. The world responds not to what you do, but to who you are, and who you are is determined by what you accept as true. So tonight I ask you, what do you want? Name it, claim it, and feel it. Let the dream wrap around you like a warm blanket. Let it soothe you to sleep. And when you wake, walk as if it is done. Speak as if it has already happened. Give thanks, not for what is, but for what is becoming. Do not go back to your senses for confirmation. They are slow. They are merely mirrors. Look instead to your imagination, for that is the first cause. If it is real there, it will become real here. This is the promise. This is the secret. This is the power you have always had, waiting in the silence of your soul. So go now, lie down, close your eyes, and do this one thing before you sleep. Feel it real. Assume the feeling. Trust the process. And in 24 hours, watch the world reflect what you dared to feel in the silence. Feel it not as a fleeting wish, but as a deep knowing, a certainty that what you have imagined is already yours. Dwell there. Linger in that state as you would in the arms of a beloved. There is no rush. The deeper you sink into that feeling, the more powerfully you impress it upon the subconscious mind. You are not pleading with an outside force. You are communing with the eternal self, the God within you, who has never known lack, who has never been denied. As your body rests heavier against the mattress, let your inner senses come alive. If your desire is to live in a new home, walk through its halls in imagination. Touch the walls. Smell the air. See your reflection in the mirror of that new space. If it is a car you seek, feel the leather of the seat, your hands on the wheel. Do not think about how it will happen, only that it already has. If it is health you desire, feel the energy of wellness in your limbs. If it is love, feel their arms around you. Hear their voice say, I'm here. That feeling, vivid and alive, is the golden key. Most people allow the outside world to dictate their inner world. They see lack and feel poor. They see loneliness and feel unloved. But you tonight are reversing the process. You are becoming the cause. You are taking dominion over your inner world, so the outer must conform. That is the secret of all spiritual law. The world is yourself pushed out. Perhaps you've tried affirmations. Perhaps you've worked hard and waited long. But this practice of assuming the feeling before sleep requires no effort, no repetition, no struggle. It requires only sincerity and immersion. One night of full assumption can do more than 100 days of action. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are conscious of being. Tonight, you are going to become someone else, not by changing your name or your appearance, but by changing your concept of self. For you will always express what you believe yourself to be. So as you drift into that realm of sleep, do so not as the person who lacks, but as the one who already possesses. Let others call it delusion. Let them say it is fantasy. You know better. You know that imagination is the only reality. You know that to feel it is to fuse with it, and once fused, it must manifest. This is not wishful thinking. It is divine law, as within so without, as above so below. As you sleep in the assumption, the law sets itself in motion. You need not repeat the assumption for many nights. The moment you feel it real, it is done. But beware the temptation to dig up the seed to check if it's growing. Trust. Faith is feeling the reality of the unseen. Your work is not to force the outcome. Your work is to feel it and rest. You are the operant power, not the world, not fate, not chance. You, and when you enter the state of the wish fulfilled, all forces of the universe begin to move. People you have never met will feel compelled to help you. Doors you never knew existed will open. Time itself will bend to bring about your desire, all from a single moment of imagined truth, held just before sleep. So tonight, be bold. Dare to believe in the unseen. Dare to reject what your senses say, and embrace what your soul knows. The world will catch up. It always does. But your only task is to assume, to feel, to rest. You need not speak it aloud. You need not even move. In the stillness of your mind, you hold the power to shape nations, to move mountains, to summon miracles. One scene, one vivid experience, one emotion, held as real, can break the chains of limitation forever. The world has taught you to beg and strive, but I tell you, you are God dreaming, and your dreams create worlds. Sleep tonight, as the one who already is, not becoming, not hoping, but already is. Walk in imagination, where you wish to walk in reality. Love, give, enjoy, celebrate, now not later. That inner experience is the true cause, and the outer world is simply its shadow. So again I say, do this before you sleep. Feel the reality of what you desire. Soak in it, sleep in it, wake with it, and watch what follows. For what you do in the final moments, before sleep, determines the stage on which your life will play. The drama must reflect the inner script. And the greatest gift, you don't need to tell anyone. You don't need to prove anything. The world will ask, how did it happen so fast? And you will smile, knowing it began in silence. It began when you closed your eyes, silenced your doubt, and felt something beautiful as true. You did not change the world. You changed yourself. And the world had no choice but to follow. As you continue this practice, night after night, you will begin to see a pattern of ease, a pattern of alignment. A pattern of reality bending itself, not slowly, not reluctantly, but swiftly and naturally, to match the inner state you have dared to occupy. This is the mystery of all the mystics, the secret behind all success, the treasure hidden in plain sight, that the world is plastic to your inner feeling, and it molds itself according to the assumptions you hold most deeply. So tonight, lie down not as the one who wants, but as the one who has, as the one who knows, as the one who rests, because the deed is done. This is not imagination, for the sake of fantasy. This is imagination, used with precision, with purpose, with power. You are not entertaining yourself with pretty thoughts. You are clothing yourself in a new identity, an identity so true to your soul, that it feels like coming home. And when you come home within, the world rushes to mirror it without. Nothing is too great, nothing is too small. The law does not care whether you desire a cup of coffee or an empire. The mechanism is the same. The process is the same. The law does not judge. Only you do. But the law, faithful and unwavering, responds only to the assumption you accept as real. So suppose you desire to travel the world. Before sleep, feel yourself stepping off a plane in Paris. Smell the croissants in the morning. Hear the laughter in the streets. Suppose you want to mend a broken relationship. Hear their voice speaking kindly to you. Feel their hand in yours. Fall asleep knowing all is well again. Or suppose your body is aching, in need of healing. See yourself dancing, running, laughing in perfect health, and drift into sleep in the glow of that new vitality. And if you can remain faithful, just long enough to fall asleep in that knowing, you will find the bridge of events begins to unfold. You see, most people sleep with worry. They sleep with regret. They sleep with the residue of their fears, unaware that they are planting seeds in the most fertile soil of their being. But not you, not anymore. Tonight you become conscious of your creative act. You choose your dream. You feel its reality. And you allow sleep to carry it deep into the womb of your subconscious, where it takes root. As you repeat this each night, different desires, deeper feelings, you begin to taste the sweet truth that there is no delay in spirit, only in belief. For spirit moves instantly. It is your disbelief, your impatience, your return to the senses that slows it down. But if you would only persist, if you would only allow the state to carry you through the night, then within 24 hours, or sometimes less, you will wake into a world subtly rearranged to match your inner conviction. And you'll know it's not chance. You'll know it's not coincidence, because it will feel too precise, too intimate, too tailored to be anything but the reflection of your own being. The phone call will come. The opportunity will appear. The apology will be spoken. The money will arrive. And it will feel both miraculous and natural, because it came from your true self, your God self, your I am. So trust this method. It is not mine. It is yours. It is eternal. It has worked for saints and sages, for kings and mystics, and it will work for you. But you must do it. Not merely think about doing it. Not wait for the right night. Not complicate it with rituals or doubts. Simply assume and feel, just before sleep, as if your wish were already true. And let sleep be your sacred surrender. If your mind wanders, bring it back. If doubt creeps in, ignore it. If nothing seems to happen the next morning, give thanks anyway. For the moment the assumption is accepted by the subconscious, the unseen machinery is already in motion. The harvest is guaranteed, but the seed must be watered with faith, not anxiety. You do not manifest by force. You manifest by being. And being is nothing more than feeling. Feeling is the secret. Not thinking about feeling, but truly vividly, emotionally embodying the end result. That's where the power lies. Not in the words you say, but in the mood you carry. Not in the steps you take, but in the state from which you act. So tonight, take this to heart, for it is your invitation to divine partnership, to creation, not from effort, but from vision. The world may call it madness. Let them, for the dreamers are the saviors of the world. The ones who dare to sleep in the state of their fulfilled desire are the ones who awaken to a world transformed. You will come to see, as you continue this sacred nightly practice, that life begins to respond to you in ways you once thought were impossible. And the beauty of it is, it does not respond to your striving. It responds to your assumption, not your pleading, but your inner knowing. And this knowing is not something you wait to have. It is something you generate deliberately through the art of feeling. Let the world call it foolishness if it must. Let it call you a dreamer. Let it mock the invisible act that occurs within the silence of your mind. But you know better. You know now that the imagination, infused with emotion, is the first cause of all outer conditions. You know that your nightly reverie is not wasted play, but potent creation. You know that when you climb into bed and wrap yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are becoming one with that desire. And in that unity, the desire must externalize itself. You will also begin to notice something extraordinary, that you are no longer reacting to life, but directing it. That circumstances which once would have disturbed you no longer carry weight, for you now know that you are not at the mercy of the outer world. You are its author. And with each passing day, the line between imagination and reality will blur. You will wake up with a quiet confidence, not born of ego, but of alignment with divine law. You will begin to carry the fragrance of fulfillment with you, like someone who walks in sunlight even on cloudy days. There will come a moment so gentle and so profound, when you realize that you need not chase anything, that the true path to all you desire is inward, that the source of your abundance, your love, your success, your joy, was always within. And in that moment, you will smile, not because something happened, but because you became it first, and the world simply caught up. That is the true manifestation, not merely receiving a thing, but transforming yourself into the one for whom that thing is natural. When you sleep each night in the state of the fulfilled desire, you are doing more than dreaming. You are dying to the old self, and rising as the new. You are in essence practicing resurrection. And with each night that you do, your external reality becomes more and more a mirror of that inward transformation. You will notice that you begin to feel different, even during the day. You'll catch yourself smiling, for no reason. People will treat you differently. Opportunities will seem to find you, but they are not accidents. They are echoes. Echoes of the tone you struck in the silence of your bedroom, when you assumed the role of the one who already had what they once only desired. And you will begin to trust that no desire is too big, that there is no hierarchy of miracles. The subconscious makes no distinction between a coin and a castle. It only receives what you impress upon it with feeling, and accepts it as truth, and the world, being the outpicturing of that inner acceptance, has no choice but to bring it forth. The more you do this before sleep, the more natural it becomes. You begin to live your days with more purpose, with more poise, with more power, not because anything outside of you has changed, but because you have changed. Because you now understand your true role in the grand design. You are not the puppet, you are the puppeteer. You are not the spectator, you are the playwright, the director, the actor, and the audience. All roles, all scripts, all stages, come from you. You realize that you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to justify your desires. You don't need to explain how things happen so quickly for you. The world, to those who are asleep, is a place of cause and effect, but to the awakened, it is a canvas, and the brush is the imagination. So you move quietly now, not with arrogance, but with certainty. You walk through life, as if everything is unfolding for you, and it does. You hold your desires lightly, joyfully, knowing they are already in motion, already on their way. You no longer argue with appearances, no longer plead with fate, for you have touched the source. You have felt the secret. You have lived the wish fulfilled within, and that is more powerful than 1,000 actions without belief. You'll see others rushing, worrying, competing, struggling, trying to force life to give them what they don't yet believe they can have. And while you may offer them the truth, you'll know most must learn as you did, not through words alone, but through personal revelation. Because the real power is not in what I tell you, but in what you do with what I've told you. That moment when you decide to trust it, to feel it, to test it for yourself, that is when it becomes alive. That is when it ceases to be theory, and becomes power. As the days pass, your manifestations will not only come, they will accelerate. For once you have proof, once you witness the law in action, even just once, your faith deepens, your conviction strengthens. You begin to manifest more effortlessly, more joyfully, because you know now. And in that knowing, you begin to create from a higher state of being, not out of lack or desperation, but out of divine choice. Even when doubt knocks, even when appearances momentarily contradict your inner truth, you return, not to panic, but to the practice. You return to the bed, to the breath, to the imagination. You close your eyes, feel the end, and sleep in it. That is your sacred ritual. That is your real work. Everything else is details the universe arranges on your behalf. And here's the beauty. This power is not limited. You are not given one miracle, one opportunity, one wish. You are infinite. The more you use this method, the more you awaken to the truth that you are not manifesting some things. You are manifesting everything. Your entire life is an outpicturing of your internal state. So you start to choose differently. You start to assume with more love, more wisdom, more grace. You begin to desire not just things, but states of being, peace, purpose, fulfillment. And those manifest too, often faster, deeper, and more profoundly than you ever expected. Your world becomes lighter, brighter, not because anything outside truly changed, but because your assumptions changed. And assumption, held with feeling, is destiny. And so tonight, and every night, from this moment forward, you carry the same simple yet sacred instruction. Feel the wish fulfilled. Let it be your final act, before sleep. Let it be your last thought, your last breath, your last feeling of the day. And do not worry if the world shows nothing at first. The seed does not sprout in front of your eyes, but beneath the surface. It is growing, quickly, quietly, faithfully, because you dared to feel it real. And so I leave you with this truth. A truth not born from books, or borrowed belief, but from lived experience, and divine revelation. You are the operant power. There is nothing outside of you that holds your destiny. The world you wake up to tomorrow will be a direct reflection of what you felt as true before you slept tonight. If you would only make this practice your nightly devotion, to enter into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to sleep as though your desire were already yours, you would awaken not only to a changed world, but as a changed being. This is not a technique to be tested once and forgotten. This is a sacred way of life. It is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, between the temporary and the eternal. So tonight, become still. Withdraw from the outer world, and enter the inner sanctuary of imagination. Assume it, feel it, be it, and sleep in the confidence that what you have assumed must come to pass. Do this, and you will witness the miraculous. Do this, and in 24 hours, your world will begin to rearrange itself, to reflect the power you dared to believe in. Remember, before you sleep,
you create. Before you sleep, you decide. And what you decide in feeling, you will surely live.
You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are not the name you were given at birth. You are not your circumstances, your failures, or even your triumphs. You are pure imagination, the eternal I am, the indwelling Christ. And if you would only recognize this, not just with your intellect, but with the deep knowing that comes in stillness, then you would know what it means to let go, to relax, and to trust the universe. Letting go is not an act of giving up. It is the greatest act of faith. For to let go is to acknowledge that the power within you is greater than any effort you could make. When you let go, you cease to force things into existence. You stop manipulating the outer world, and instead you assume the inner state that aligns with your desire. In that assumption, the world bends to you. But first, you must trust. You must relax into the knowing that the Father within you doeth the work. Do not misunderstand the word relax. It does not mean idleness or passivity. It means surrender. And surrender is the highest vibration of power. When you relax, you are declaring that it is already done, that there is nothing more for you to do, nothing more for you to strive toward. It is in this state of peace that manifestations unfold with elegance and precision. You do not create by effort. You create by knowing. You do not attract by chasing. You attract by being. When you close your eyes at night and enter into the silence, you meet the real you, the operant power, the one who can revise the past, change the present, and unfold the future. That still small voice within, that quiet I am, is the very universe you are asked to trust. To trust the universe is to trust yourself, for there is no separation. The world is yourself pushed out, and to attempt to control the external while neglecting the internal is to deny your divine origin. Letting go begins the moment you stop seeking confirmation from the world. The world is only a mirror. If you persist in looking to it for signs, for proofs, for validation, you remain a slave to circumstance. But when you dare to feel the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you truly sink into it and live from it, you have let go of the old man and taken on the new. You are no longer the one who hopes. You are now the one who knows. There is a sacred art to trusting the unseen. It is the art of assuming. When you assume a thing to be true, without evidence, without argument, without contradiction, you place your order in the invisible. And if you persist in that assumption, the visible must comply. The law cannot fail. It has no choice but to match your inner conviction. But you must be still. You must rest in that knowing and let the old world die. For the old world cannot come with you into your new state. The caterpillar must surrender to the cocoon before it can emerge as the butterfly. The more you try to force a manifestation, the more you affirm its absence. The more you talk about it, worry about it, strategize for it, the more you remain in the state of not having it. And that is why many fail to receive what they desire. They have not let go. They still seek. They still beg. But desire is not fulfilled by pleading. It is fulfilled by assuming. The end of yearning is receiving, and receiving is the fruit of inner acceptance. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot say, I have it, and simultaneously dwell in fear that it may not arrive. You cannot imagine a thing clearly and then go out into the world and speak of its impossibility. If your inner conversation contradicts your desire, then the desire is not your dominant state. Change your inner speech. Talk to yourself as if it is already so. Feel the tones of reality. Hear the congratulatory phone call. Walk with the posture of someone who has already won. This is the way. Not by might nor by power, but by spirit. Relaxation is receptivity. It is stillness. It is the fertile soil into which the seed of imagination is planted. If you plant the seed and then dig it up every day to check on it, it will never grow. The universe is no different. Assume your wish has already been granted. Feel the relief. Smile at the invisible. Rest knowing that your part is done. The rest is automatic. The bridge of incidents will unfold on its own. You are not responsible for the how. You are only responsible for the state. This is the secret. Everything is already finished. You are not creating something new. You are selecting from what already is. In the infinite imagination of God, all things exist. Every possibility, every outcome, every version of you already lives. You simply align with it by assuming its reality. You step into that version of yourself, and the world reconfigures to match. But only when you trust, only when you relax, only when you release the need to make it happen. Many say, I've been visualizing, I've been affirming, but nothing is changing. That is because they are holding on. They are clinging to the desire rather than dwelling in its fulfillment. Their faith is still in the external, not in the internal. They wait for the world to prove their assumption, instead of letting their assumption prove the world. But you must flip this. You must put the weight of your belief on the unseen. That is the only way to make it seen. Trusting the universe is not blind. It is spiritual sight. You see with the eyes of imagination. You walk by faith, not by facts. You speak as if the thing you desire has already been received, because in the higher realms it already has. Time is but a construct. In imagination, everything is now. And the moment you truly accept a new state, everything shifts to support it. People move, events align, doors open. But not because you forced it, because you surrendered. What is surrender but the silent agreement with God that you are what you desire to be? What is letting go but the refusal to entertain anything contrary to your vision? It is not weakness, it is mastery. The one who can rest in faith is the one who commands the world. The one who can sit in silence and know it is done is the one who shapes destiny. The one who needs no external proof is the one who becomes the proof. So go within, shut the door, enter the secret place, and from that stillness, declare who you are. Not with your lips, but with your feeling. Let the feeling become your dwelling place. Let it saturate your every thought, and then release. Don't ask when or how or through whom. That is not your concern. If it were your concern, then you would be God, and the world would be your burden. But you are not here to carry burdens. You are here to remember that your Father has already provided. You must become like a child. A child does not doubt when their parent promises a gift. A child receives in innocence, in simplicity, in joy. So must you return to that state. Become light again. Let the weight of worry fall off. Let go of timing. Let go of details. Let go of needing it. For the moment you no longer need it, it is yours. The moment you release your grasp, it finds you. That is the paradox of creation. That is the mystery of trust. Think not of the world. Think only of the state. The world is always reflecting the state. Change the state, and the world must change. That is the law. You cannot be in the state of wealth and see poverty. You cannot be in the state of love and experience rejection. If what you see does not match what you desire, do not be deceived. It is only a shadow of an old state. Persist in the new one. Let it impress itself upon your being. And wait, not with impatience, but with peace. I tell you now, the moment you let go, the current carries you. The river does not need your paddling. It flows toward your destination with or without your effort. But if you resist, if you try to control it, you create turbulence. You disturb what would otherwise be smooth. Your job is not to row. Your job is to trust the current. That current is your inner knowing. It is your assumption. It is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Dwell in that feeling and the world bends. Do not confuse doing with being. You do not need to do more. You need to be more. Be more of who you truly are. Be the version of you that already has the thing. Speak like them. Walk like them. Sleep like them. Imagine like them. That is the secret. And once you are them, there is nothing to seek, nothing to chase, nothing to wait for. You are already home. Relax. The universe is not outside of you. It is within you. You are the universe. You are the one who decides what reality reflects. And when you align with that truth, you no longer panic when things appear wrong. You no longer beg for signs or synchronicities. You simply know. You say, it is done, and go about your day. That is power. That is trust. That is how you let go. So tonight before you sleep, let go of the day. Let go of the fears, the doubts, the questions. Sink into your imagination. Feel the wish fulfilled. Hear the words you've longed to hear. See the world through the eyes of one who has already received. And then sleep. Drift into that sacred dream, knowing that the seed is planted. And tomorrow walk as though the harvest has come. You are not waiting on the universe. The universe is waiting on you to relax, to trust, to remember. You already are. You already have. You already know. So let go. Be still. And watch the world conform. As you rest in this knowing, allow the natural rhythm of life to carry you. Do not rush to interfere. Do not be anxious about the lack of movement. The most profound changes are often invisible at first. Just as a seed takes root before it ever breaks through the soil, your assumption takes root in the unseen. And the unseen is more real than the seen, for it is the cause, while the seen is only the effect. Those who walk by appearances are forever tossed by the winds of circumstance. But those who walk by inner vision, by the law of assumption, stand firm, even when the world tells them otherwise. You are called to move in faith, not because you are pretending, but because you are pretending, but because you are aligning. Pretending is hollow, assuming is alive. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to embody a higher reality now, not someday. And once you embody that reality inwardly, you can trust the outer world to reflect it in due course. The outer is always behind the inner. What you are now feeling will soon become what you are seeing. But it must begin with the feeling. That is why your primary work is not to manipulate events, but to control your inner state. Not with force, but with gentle attention. Not with panic, but with quiet conviction. Think of the many times you have tried to make something happen through effort. Think of the strain, the frustration, the exhaustion. And now, remember the moments when things simply fell into place, without warning, without struggle, as if by magic. That was not magic. That was the universe responding to your state. When you were relaxed, detached and aligned, the doors opened. When you were clinging, doubting, resisting, the doors remained shut. So the wise soul learns to let go, not because it is easy, but because it is effective. You let go, not to lose control, but to return to the only true control, inner dominion. What does inner dominion look like? It looks like a man or woman who no longer reacts, but chooses, who no longer fears, but imagines, who no longer begs, but lives as if their desire is already theirs. You have seen glimpses of this power in your own life. The moment you truly decided something, it happened. The moment you no longer entertained the opposite, the reality conformed. This is not coincidence. This is law. And the more you practice this law, the more natural it becomes. Relaxation is the soil in which belief takes root. If you affirm with your lips, but deny with your emotions, nothing will grow. But if you speak gently to yourself in the silence of your mind, if you dwell in the end with a calm certainty, then even the most stubborn reality must yield. The universe is not deaf. It is not blind. It is exact, and it answers every vibration with precision. If you emit doubt, you get more doubt. If you emit certainty, you get what certainty brings. There is no partial credit in this law. You receive according to your dominant state. So make peace your dominant state. Make fulfillment your home, not just a place you visit, but where you live. Do not concern yourself with the outer facts. They are only shadows of old beliefs. The moment you change the root, the branches must also change. The moment you revise the inner man, the outer world has no choice but to follow. For the outer is not creative. It is responsive. And you are not a victim of it. You are the cause of it. You are the one who sets the tone. So if the music of life is off key, change the vibration within. Tune your inner instrument. Feel again the beauty of your wish fulfilled. Hear again the sweet song of already having, and rest. Every great teacher has spoken of this power, whether they called it faith, imagination, spirit, or I am. The message was the same. The power is within you. And yet we forget. We look outside. We ask others for permission. We wait for circumstances to change. But nothing changes until we do. The moment you reclaim your imagination, you reclaim your world. And imagination needs relaxation, not effort. It blooms in stillness. It reveals its wonders when you trust. Let go of timing. Let go of comparison. Let go of watching the clock or measuring the process. These only serve to keep you in a state of not having. Instead, step into the timeless. Step into the eternal now. All things are now. You do not become. You simply reveal what you already are. And the fastest way to reveal it is to act as if, not to pretend, but to embody. Walk in it. Think from it. Love from it. Give from it, and life will mirror back the version of you that you have accepted. You may be tempted to say, but I don't see it yet.
And to that I say, do not look with mortal eyes. See with the eye of imagination, the eye of God within you. That eye never closes, never sleeps, never doubts. When you see your desire in your mind's eye with clarity and feeling, you have planted the cause. The harvest must come. But like the farmer, you must let the soil do its work. You do not dig up the seed to make it grow faster. You do not pace through the fields to hurry the rain. You trust, you rest, and you know. If doubt arises, and it may, do not fight it. Do not panic. Simply return to the feeling, return to the state, re-enter the scene, revise it, reimagine it. For imagination is always open to you. It is the door to your freedom. You are never stuck unless you decide to be. You are never bound unless you accept the prison of appearances. But once you remember the secret, that your assumption creates your world, you are free. Do you want love? Assume you are already loved. Do you want wealth? Assume you are already wealthy. Do you want health? Assume you are already whole, and then walk in that identity. Let no thought, no word, no action contradict it. Let your entire being say yes to it, and let go of everything else. Let go of needing proof. Let go of needing reassurance. Let go of the habit of worry. These are only the old man trying to resurrect himself. But you are not him anymore. You are new. You have moved. You have changed states. When you change states, the world must follow. It has no choice. The world is clay, and your assumption is the mold. Form it gently, with faith, with joy, with the playful certainty of a child building a castle in the sand. The child does not worry about the waves. The child builds. The child enjoys. And so must you. Live in the state of already having, not just in words, but in mood, in tone, in vibration. That is the true letting go, not the absence of desire, but the absence of resistance. And so you live, you love, you breathe, you rest, all from the place of knowing that what you seek is already yours. There is nothing more to do, only more to be, and in being all things are added unto you. You begin to notice subtle changes around you, not because you went looking for them, but because you changed your internal atmosphere. People respond to you differently. Opportunities appear, where before there were none. Doors you never imagined begin to open with ease, and yet you do not chase them. You do not cling. You remain still inside, unshaken, because you know the truth of who you are, and what you have accepted as yours. The world simply mirrors back your state, and since your state is one of wholeness, of peace, of having, the world cannot help but reflect it in kind. Others may look upon you, and wonder at your calm. They may ask how you manage to remain so certain, so composed, in a world that seems so chaotic. But you know, your certainty is not based on external assurances. It is born from the inner sanctuary you have built. It is born from the practice of assumption. It is born from the understanding that you are not a servant to fate, but the master of your reality. And with this understanding, you do not need to fight. You do not need to beg. You simply persist in the inner knowing, and the universe takes care of the rest. To persist is not to strain. It is not to push harder. It is to rest more deeply in the assumption. It is to return to it every time the old self tries to speak. It is to say no, gently but firmly, to the voices of doubt. It is to re-enter the scene of your fulfilled desire, again and again, until it becomes your dwelling place. And in that dwelling you are fed. You are guided. You are sustained. You no longer reach for signs. You become the sign. You no longer seek validation. You radiate conviction. Your mere presence speaks of fulfillment, because it flows from within you like a quiet, unstoppable river.
The more you relax, the more power you begin to notice in your imagination. The pictures become clearer. The feelings become deeper. You stop trying to control every little thing. And in that release, you gain a control greater than any force could ever give you. You realize the truth Neville taught, that imagining creates reality, not effort. You realize that by feeling the end, by accepting the outcome now, you have already done the greatest work. Everything that follows is simply the echo of your assumption made flesh. You are not here to suffer. You are not here to strive endlessly. You are here to awaken to your creative power. You are here to remember who you truly are, the operant power, the divine imagination, the I am. And once you truly remember, you no longer ask, When will it happen? You no longer beg the universe for crumbs. You realize that you are the baker, the oven, the flour, and the bread itself. Everything you desire is already within you, waiting for your belief to give it shape, waiting for your imagination to grant it birth. So you let go, not out of weakness, but from supreme trust. You trust the seed you have planted. You trust the process that follows. You trust the timing that may differ from your expectation, but is always perfect. You do not yank the flower from the ground to see if it is growing. You water it with faith. You shine light upon it with joy. You speak to it with love. This is how the new you blossoms. This is how the fulfilled version of yourself takes root in the world. The moment you truly let go, you begin to enjoy life again. You notice the beauty in small things. You appreciate the now because the now is no longer empty. It is pregnant with fulfillment. Even before the physical manifestation appears, your soul is full. You walk as one who already has. You breathe as one who already owns. You speak as one whose word is law. And the world begins to respond, not because you forced it, but because you became it. This is the secret so many miss. They try to make it happen, and in trying they affirm it hasn't. But the one who relaxes, who rests in the vision, who assumes it already is, that one manifests effortlessly, not through magic, but through alignment, not through control, but through surrender. And that surrender is not a defeat. It is a return to your true self, the self that knows, the self that sees, the self that speaks I am, and creates worlds. You were never meant to be at the mercy of the world. You were meant to be its master, not by domination, but by assumption, not by noise, but by stillness. The stillness of knowing that your inner world holds all the keys. The stillness of understanding that imagination is the divine spark in man. And once that spark is lit, nothing can put it out, unless you turn your attention away. So remain attentive, not with tension, but with reverence. Reverence for the sacred power within you. Speak to yourself in the silence of your heart. Speak as one who already has. Say, I am fulfilled. I am loved. I am secure. I am successful. Say it not to convince, but because it is true. And the more you say it, the more real it becomes. The more you feel it, the more the universe must bring it into form. For the universe is bound by law, and the law responds to feeling. The law responds to assumption. The law does not ask questions. It simply reflects. So you do not need to explain your desires to anyone. You do not need to justify your vision. You only need to enter the state. And once you are in the state, persist there gently. Let it soak into your bones. Let it become your new normal. And as it becomes normal to you inwardly, the world will normalize it outwardly. This is the way. This is the path. Not a path of effort, but of alignment. Not a path of striving, but of remembering. You remember who you are. You remember what you have. And in that remembrance you are free. Do not fear the delay. Delay is only the world catching up to your inner change. Do not fear the silence. Silence is the sacred space where transformation brews. Do not fear the void. The void is not emptiness. It is potential. And the one who can sit in the void with peace, trusting that the unseen is forming, is the one who will see the greatest wonders appear. For they have mastered the art of letting go. They have learned the sacred rhythm of rest. They have come home to their inner self, and there they have found all they need. There will be moments when the world still tempts you to worry. There will be days when the old thoughts whisper again. But you are no longer the same. You are aware now. You have seen the truth. And that truth is that nothing can harm the man or woman who lives in the state of their fulfilled desire. They are untouchable, for they are not reacting to the world. They are creating it. They are not chasing outcomes. They are being the outcome. And so your work each day is simple. Return to the state. Relax. Let go of the how, the when, the who. Trust the divine process. Know that all things are being arranged on your behalf, perfectly, effortlessly, and in divine time. You need not control the process. You only need to control the assumption. You only need to feel the end. And from that end you live. You speak. You move. And life becomes your mirror.
you begin to realize that letting go is not an act of surrendering your power, but reclaiming it. When you release the need to control the outer, you return to the seat of control, the inner. And in that seat you realize that nothing is denied you. The only limit is your assumption. The only block is your refusal to believe. But now you believe. Now you assume. Now you rest. Not because you are done, but because you are fulfilled. Fulfillment is not waiting at the end of a journey. It is waiting inside the assumption. It is waiting for you to say yes and mean it. It is waiting for you to feel it real. And when you do, the rest unfolds like a flower opening to the sun, naturally, silently, beautifully. The flower does not ask when it will bloom. It does not question whether it is worthy of the sun. It simply opens because it is its nature to open. You too, in the stillness of assumption, open. You unfold into the person you have always desired to be, and it no longer feels foreign or forced. It feels like coming home. You do not try to become, you recognize you already are. The very desire you once chased now radiates from you as a quiet certainty. Every moment becomes an invitation to return to that inner knowing. And when you catch yourself drifting, when you feel the pull of worry or the echo of doubt, you do not scold yourself. You gently bring yourself back. You close your eyes, take a breath, and return to the state of the wish fulfilled. You remember the truth. I am that. And in remembering you realign. The more you do this, the less you are pulled by the outer, the less you are swayed by appearances. For you have chosen the inner world as your foundation. As Neville said, you are not to concern yourself with the facts. Facts are only past assumptions made visible. You do not fight with them. You do not deny them. You simply transcend them. You assume anew. And in assuming you rise above. You are no longer the product of circumstances. You are the cause of them. You are the dreamer in the dream. And once you know this, you cannot go back to sleep. You are awake now. And the awakened man does not try. He imagines. He does not force. He feels. He does not doubt. He dwells. You do not try to make something happen in the outer world, because you understand the outer world is not where creation begins. The outer world is the screen. The inner world is the projector, and the image projected is always a result of the assumption held. So you polish the lens of your imagination. You clear away the fog of fear. You make space for clarity and precision in your inner vision, and you allow that vision to speak louder than any current condition. No longer do you plead with life to give you what you want. No longer do you beg the heavens for favor. You assume the heavens are within you. You understand that the kingdom of heaven is not a place far off. It is the state you occupy. It is the feeling of having. It is the inner conviction that what you have imagined is already yours. And from this inner kingdom all things flow. From this place of peace miracles emerge, not as anomalies, but as natural outcomes of a mastered mind. This is why you relax. This is why you let go. Not because you are passive, but because you are powerful. Not because you have given up, but because you have taken up residence in the feeling of the end. And that feeling, once established, becomes your new world. Your conversations change. Your energy shifts. Your posture reflects confidence. People sense the difference. Not because you are louder, but because you are aligned. Not because you are trying to be something, but because you are resting in your being. In that being, the universe conspires. In that being, all things are added. You don't need to plot, to strive, to manipulate. You simply trust. Not blind trust, but intelligent trust. A trust built on the deep knowing that the law is perfect, and imagination is the only reality. What you hold within will be held without. What you consent to inwardly will materialize outwardly. This is not superstition. This is the law. This is how reality is shaped. So again and again, you return to the feeling. You nourish it. You revisit the scene that implies your wish is fulfilled. You feel the tone of reality in that scene. You feel the naturalness of it. And when you rise from that session, you carry that tone into the world. You walk as the one who has. You act as though it is already done. Not to fool the world, but because the world follows your feeling. And your feeling is no longer one of lack, but of possession. You do not need to convince anyone else. You do not need to argue for your dreams. You do not even need to speak of them. Your inner state is the true prayer, the real request, and it is heard in the silence. The universe responds to what you are, not what you say. It reflects what you accept as true. So you accept it now, not in the distant future, not after proof but now. And you live from that acceptance. You breathe from that place. You sleep in that assumption. In the stillness of the night, you do not rehearse problems. You rehearse fulfillment. You do not entertain the worst-case scenario. You dwell in the best. You see it, feel it, and fall asleep in it. This is how you impress the subconscious mind. Not by force, but by repetition. Not by struggle, but by ease. And as the subconscious accepts the new assumption, the outer world must conform. It cannot help but do so, for it is obedient to your inner world. You begin to see every delay as a gift, every detour as a divine arrangement. Because your inner knowing is unshaken, you are no longer moved by time. You are moved by truth. And the truth is that you have already claimed it within. Therefore it must come without, not as a reward, but as a reflection, not as a surprise, but as a certainty. You planted the seed. You watered it with feeling. You kept the soil of your mind fertile with belief. And now the harvest comes. Others may marvel at your peace. They may wonder how you stay so grounded. But you know the secret. You know that real power is silent. It does not shout. It does not prove. It simply is. And because you are that power, you move differently. You trust more. You let go quicker. You do not cling to the outer. You return to the inner. And in that return, you find all things are given. You no longer measure your success by appearances. You measure it by your ability to feel it real. You no longer wait for evidence. You become the evidence. You no longer ask if it's working. You know it's done. This knowing becomes your anchor. It becomes your home. And from this home, you create worlds. You walk into situations that once intimidated you, now fully aware of your authority. You speak with quiet confidence. You act with bold assurance. You do not overthink, because the feeling has taken root. The state is now your dwelling. You do not visit it. You live in it. And because you live in it, the world must shape itself to accommodate you. The old fears try to whisper again, but you smile. You know they have no power here. You have seen the light, and the light dispels all shadow. You rest. You relax. You relax. And in that release you rise. The universe was never against you. It was simply waiting for you to assume the posture of one who knows. Now you know. Now you trust. Now you allow. So my friend, let this be the moment you surrender. Not to circumstance, but to truth. Let this be the moment you stop chasing and start assuming. Let this be the moment you realize that the only thing that has ever stood between you and your desire is the belief that you needed to try. You don't need to try. You need to trust. You need to enter into the feeling of the wish fulfilled and dwell there calmly, confidently, silently. The universe is not withholding anything from you. It is only echoing back the state you choose to occupy. So choose now. Choose to feel it real. Choose to rest in the knowing that it is already done. And watch as the world bends to mirror your inner conviction. Let go. Relax. Trust the universe, and you will witness the miraculous become your everyday reality.